The brother has requested me to deliver it in English. So, excuse all of this and prefer to go. So, Maulana Qasim beautifully summed up the importance of Salah. It's a spiritual need. Let's not give up this need, otherwise we will turn into animals. We will be social animals. Ruh completes us as a human being, and also it connects us with Allah. Nisbat, the nisbat with Allah, the connection, the belongingness to Allah and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and with this great deen, Deen Islam. But what is the foundation of Islam? As Maulana rightly said, Bunya al-Islam ala khamsin. Bunya al-Islam, the foundation of Islam is on 5 things. So, this is foundation in Islam is sitting right in the foundation. The foundation is not only Islam. It is the foundation. It's what we need. So what is Islam? There are obligations in Islam. There are some do's and don'ts in Islam. So let's have a bird's eye view to sum up all the obligations into an easy way to remember them. So the hadith continues that أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. So Kalima is the foundation of Islam, which means that Iman is the foundation of Islam. Iman. What is Iman? If you see the root word of this, of Iman, it has the meaning of Amal in it. Peace. To give peace, to have peace, to be in peace. If you are a believer is supposed to be at peace. You are really at peace. You are extremely at peace. You are at peace with your environment. Your environment is nature. It could be people or anything else. It's nature. And this is the nature Allah created. The nature of everything is the fitrah. And fitrah is being of fitrah. So you have to be in peace, in tranquility with your surroundings, with people around you. Now if you see, Iman has a couple of aspects. One aspect is the legal Iman, the proclamation, the word is أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. That person is legally Muslim. There's a legal aspect of Islam, of Iman. But then, what about the attestation of heart? Especially verbally people know, but his heart didn't attest. Even that accepts. Even God accepts. But if there is a attestation in heart, a conviction in the heart, that's the haqiqi Iman. A true faith. And this is what Allah advises us to achieve. Certainly when we are able to achieve the level where there are no doubts to be made, your heart is firmly convinced. The Haqiqi Iman has 2 kinds further. One is Haqiqi Shu'uri Iman, with the conscious mind. We see there are people, some people are more towards reasoning, some are more towards emotions. So those who have the emotional side dominant, they attain this level of Haqiqi Iman called Qalbi. And the rational side dominant, they read Quran, they beside that, Iman has another aspect mentioned in Quran. That Iman will be real in the day of judgment in front of a believer as well. It will be done right in front of a believer, and especially when the believer is crossing the sirat, the bridge of sirat. If Iman will be really right in front of it, what do you do? Do you want to achieve Iman here? Or you want to wait for the chance, and when you reach there, you realize, oops, I didn't bring Iman with me. So this is a very important aspect of Iman. And it will be added while you are crossing the hill of Sirat, the bridge of Sirat. But Iman has an amazing another aspect, which is Ahya. And Imam Bukhari, he brought it in the explanation of the first hadith, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, and he brings this explaining that, and he says that, that I met in the presence of others, and I refuse to believe that al-Iman qawlun wa amalun yazidu wa yanqus. Iman is qawl and amal. It is not only belief, it's also an amal. And if you see any action which we do, any deed we do, it has an idea. First comes the idea. You want to do something, an idea comes. Oh, I need to drink water. First you're going to think, then you're going to go. Similarly, Iman is some belief that translates into an action. For example, you see a wire, and the bulb is connected with the wire, and the bulb is lit, and the wire is vacant. You see the bulb is on. Are you going to touch the wire? No. Why? Because you have a yaqeen that if I touch it, I'm going to get electrocuted. So, Iman and Iman have a relationship. Iman gets translated into Amal. So, if you want to do an action, anything, you have to work on your Iman. If you find your stars are weak, guess what? The Iman is weak because of work on your Iman. Read the Quran, or go to or listen to him. It's like you're in a winter night, you're cold. Where are you going? Fire. You have to get close to fire to take the heat. So you have to go to such people, such powers, and you have to put all to kill the Iman if you need to. So let me move ahead a bit with this Iman aspect. Iman turns into Amal. Al-Iman qawlun wa amalun. So Iman is qawl and amal. So let's see the Amal aspect. The Amal aspect. There are two kinds of deeds. That's it. Simple. My job is to explain with everyone the deeds of all obligations. So let me start with this. Deeds are simply two things. One is acceptable deeds to Allah. One is not acceptable. Now, that's not Allah saying it only. But they are not, some deeds which are not acceptable. So I'm not discussing the non-acceptable ones today. My job is the obligations of Islam is to sum it up. So, acceptable deeds has two aspects. Very simple. Acceptable deeds in Islam, the acceptable deeds to Allah has two aspects. One is the intention, irada, niyyah. do a deed without a niyya? You can indeed. If you do a deed but you missed having the niyya, you can do it there, that's fine. But what is the niyya? What should be the niyya? Niyya is Allah's raza, reward from Allah. And in Sawab and in Jannah, all are absolutely fine. It has to have a niyya. So action has to have a niyya. Deeds have to have a niyya, another aspect of acceptable deeds. Another aspect is the right understanding. The right understanding of perspective and wisdom behind a deed. A good deed, let's suppose you are ready and going for Rediscover Salah. What is the perspective I'm saying? You are ready, you took a shower, you are ready for Rediscover Salah, and today you're planning to go early. And your neighbor knocks your door and sees that your my child is aging, take him to the hospital. Are you going to tell your neighbor that no, I have to go for Juma Salah? That's a child, or whatever. I'm going for Juma Salah. What happened here? The perspective of our changed. This is one of the reasons we Muslims lost the track. And that's the deed of Islam. The objectivity of Islam, we have missed. What is the objectivity of Islam? Before we sum up all this obligation, the objectivity of Islam is ليكون الناس بالقسط. So the hadith number 25. But Allah says that we have sent kind of messengers, given them books, so that they may establish justice. What is the essence of Islam? The essence of Islam is truthfulness. Truth is haq. Mutawasid bil haq. Wasiyah is haq. The truthfulness. Islam is paid to Islam has come to eliminate falsehood and establish truth. That's why Islam is dominant. That's why Islam is superior. Because it establishes truth. And the ultimate truth of this universe, the ultimate truth of this universe is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To eliminate the falsehood, to eliminate the darkness, to eliminate lies. Islam has completed the job of Islam. And Islam, in order to do that, provides faith. Makes people do certain worship so that they attain that faith. In order to achieve a group of people have to lie at the believers. And what we need, you may call it, see, there's no hope for justice. Our rights in the religion can spread and establish truth and justice. This is all a picture. So let's go to obligation. Obligation can be summed up into simply three types. To establish obligation, that's what is related to establishing will on yourself. To become a believer of Allah, to become a servant of Allah, to believe in Him, to listen to Him, to obey Him, to serve Him. What are we achieving here? In this category, we are achieving to become the Tanzeem of Allah, the Abd of Allah. Obligation that has to do with us, becoming slaves of Allah, bondsmen of Allah, is what establishes being on yourself. Second category of obligations is to deliver them to others. Imagine, if you have something good, how mean you would be that you're not sharing it with anyone. is to share it. So on top of it, it's an obligation. Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was ordained by Allah. We were ordained by Allah. وادعوا إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. كمان الله تعالى كمان الناس تقول بالبعض. وادعوا إلى سبيل ربك. وادعوا إلى الله. Take the people towards Allah. So this is the second category of obligations. And the third category, to make the deen of Allah supreme. This is a category altogether. But since we have that issue with understanding the perspective of obligations, and lesson of obligations and focusing more on form and realism, we totally missed the train. We forgot that there is a whole category of applications in Islam called Ahya-e-Islam. One other with Salah, and we get to break and emphasize that now you have to come to masjid. That's what we on the first part establishing Salah. Salah is first to establish deen, you have to come together. For pause, pause to make the deen of Allah supreme. What do you mean when you say deen of Allah supreme? When you ask people, the one I found was a complete code of life. What do you mean complete code of life? Which means it guides us in all aspects of human life. What do you mean by all aspects of human life? It means my personal life, my life in my household, domestic life, my life in my extended family, my life in my society. Those are what we think here. The most important aspect of human life is the economic aspect. We have to go there. We have to do some business deals. We are living in a society, running some money, and without money, nothing else. So this aspect of human life, which is called the economic aspect, that has to be also under the guidelines of Islam. And we know just one example I'm going to give is food. How strongly Allah has not declared it haram. How strongly? That if we do not abstain from it, then it's going to be your power of violence or sin. We don't even care about it. This aspect of human life, the collective aspect, the aspect of making Islam a complete code of life. Similarly, when we want to discover what has to be dealt, who's going to take care of Muhammad's pickup? Who's going to take care of making roads? Who's going to get the electricity? What is this? If we can if we are going to provide electricity, is it deen or not? It must be. If you're working as a construction worker and you're working roads, is it deen or not? It's deen. Because people are going to go through it. And the prophets will manually taught us how to clean roads. How to work on the roads, how to work on the website. If you see a mistake, pick it up, throw it away. No, it's deen, brothers. But somehow we got stuck in a game that sank into few obligations. And my job is to show you another aspect, a wider aspect. a respect that gives you a ability as you to the obligations that there are two categories of obligations in Islam. First category, to make yourself material of Allah, to make yourself an abd of Allah, to establish deen on yourself. Second category, to do your activities. That's an obligation. And we put this obligation on you. Well, we are so busy doing other things. And we can take our time for entertainment, for picnics, for visiting different places. Why can't we take out some time for this second obligation? It's a bond. And the thing that I learned about this data is شهر الناس أمر بالمعروف والنهي عن المنكر دعوة إلى الله الدعوة إلى سبيل ربك. Why can't we take out time for that? Why are we focused on a limited aspect of deen which we understood and we thought, okay, this is deen. This is what any other ordinary religion, Islam, take a level of any other ordinary religion. It is a deen. It's supposed to guide us in all aspects of life. So what about these aspects? What are social, political, economic aspects of human life? That is not clear amongst us. Human beings, we can stand up and show the world that how beautiful Islamic principles are. If you make an economic system based on Islamic principles, then what is going to do? Are we scared of something? Does it make the world love it? Haven't we accepted Islam because we love it? Why can't we show the same picture to those who don't believe it? So this is what I tried to sum up in front of you. All the obligations summed up in three categories. The third category, I'm going to take a couple of more minutes on this third category, which is to establish deen as a social, political, economic system. Establish deen as a social, political, economic system. This is obligation on us to make the deen of Allah supreme. This is obligation on us. We are aware that talks about it. Starting from very early period, when Surah Al-Mudassir, Ya Ayyuhal, Surah Al-Mudassir, Ya Ayyuhal, Ya Ayyuhal, فَأَنْهَرْ وَرَبَّكَ فَكَبِّرْ. There was a meaning. Prophet Sallallahu couldn't just did a verbal service of saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, verbal service. He actually made Allah supreme. And Allah supreme. Allah kalimatullahi hiya al-ulya. And Allah influences. It gives this mission to Prophet Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah says, وَإِنَّ رَسُولُهُ بِالْهُدَى وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ. It is He Allah who has sent Allah's messenger. And He has given him the deen so that He can make the deen supreme. So, I hope I did some justice to my topic in order to explain the obligations and make brothers realize that there are so many other areas of Islam which we need to work, and this particular domain, the second and third, we need to be part of an organization. But you cannot do it on your own. Allah says in the Quran, Islam completely, which means don't just pick and choose, don't just cherry picking. listening to Allah, and He wants you to do all these things. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين